Hey everyone, very important topic today. That is diet, weight loss, and fitness according to the Bible. That's what's important, because especially with New Year's resolutions, weight loss plans, fitness programs, you're going to be hearing a lot of conflicting information. I mean, if I'm confused and I know a lot about what's going on, I can only imagine the normal person. They must be very confused. Plant-based, carnivore, wow. What about keto? What about paleo? What about all these different things? What is the truth out there? And believe it or not, it's not that hard. We look at the Bible. The Bible gives us a lot of insight into all of these things. And you have to remember, a lot of these diets, a lot of these great doctors I look up to, nutritionists, they talk about evolution. And then they have different ideas. This guy's all about plant-based. This guy's all about meat and dairy. This guy's all about, avoid beans because of lectin. Plants are trying to kill you. I mean, this is getting ridiculous. So let me just unpack it for you. First, let's talk about exercise. The Bible says it profits you little. And a lot of people like to use that to be lazy. Don't use it to be lazy. What that means is that physical pursuits, taking care of the body, pales in comparison to spiritual pursuits, talking about eternity, right? So context is king. And in the context, that's absolutely right. However, that does not mean we're not supposed to exercise. Actually, exercise is very important. Paul would actually talk about an athlete and how running for a prize and things like that. So Paul also says to discipline our body. And in the Bible, you were to move, you're to be active and not lazy. And we need to bring a lot of that back. So biblically speaking, that is the best type of exercise, to be moving, to be active, maybe help people, move, load up a U-Haul truck and lift things up and care for kids, your grandkids or your children. You're lifting them up, you're having fun, you're moving. And then of course you can have exercise in that, because we don't get enough exercise now, especially in our day and age. You can add other things. So I don't get into all the, more cardio, more weights. We know that weight training is important. High interval intensity training is important, where you're moving more, you're keeping the heart rate up, different forms. Some cardio is great, mix it up. I personally don't get too caught up in all the different things out there. And then what about the diet? Oh my goodness. The Bible, what does the Bible say? And again, when I'm talking about these foods in the Bible, they are very clean and unprocessed. That's the key. For example, there's no bad cholesterol. Cholesterol is good. High density lipoproteins, low density lipoproteins. One of those take the cholesterol away from the arteries. The other cholesterol, what they call the bad cholesterol, is it brings the cholesterol to the arteries in order to repair. So it's a good thing. The problem is all this junk food and excess sugar. I mean, we went from eating 6 teaspoons of sugar a day now up to 56 teaspoons just in the last 150 years or so. So that's what's causing the damage. So when I talk about these foods in the Bible, it's from their pure raw state. For example, when it talks about dairy, milk and dairy, cheese was good, curds. It talks about curds, which would be more like yogurt, kefir, and things like, which of course are probiotic, meaning that it gives your gut bacteria some very good things to eat and to consume. Healthy gut bacteria is huge right now. So clean meat, clean dairy. I'll get to meat in a minute, but clean dairy. Right? You got cheese, you've got some good milk. I mean, obviously I try for organic milk and even whole milk when possible, goat, but it's hard. So I'd rather avoid dairy most of the time if I can't get a good clean source. But I don't get carried away about it. I've had pizza with people in the homeless ministry and fried food with, I'm not going to get too extreme. I try to do good 80, 85%, 90% of the time. But people that know me say, oh, he's, Shane's perfect. No, not at all. Come on, give me a break. I'll introduce you to people who are perfect, and it can become a form of idolatry too. So we want to be careful in that area. So milk and dairy are fine. Again, as long as it's clean. I'm not going to eat a single, Kraft cheese, the little square Kraft cheese. I would never even eat that because of processed and all kinds of junk. But some raw, organic, cheese from grass-fed, grass-finished cows. Wow, that's powerful. Goats, as well. So again, that's biblically speaking. Okay, what about meat? Well, the Bible talks a lot about meat. Jesus ate meat. No doubt he ate lamb often on the Passover and different things, celebration. Fish, they ate fish. Jesus actually gave fish to the people. And he actually gave, bread. Well, we're not on bread yet. Hold on. Guys, getting ahead of myself. So meat is throughout the Bible, lamb, and other forms of beef and meat, poultry, I believe, you can just do a search in the Bible. So meat and dairy in moderation and very clean can be good, but your primary source of fuel, the primary source of food needs to be plant-based. Plant-based, a big, colorful salad, hopefully organic if you can get it, salad dressings that are natural oils. Isn't that funny? The Bible talks about olive oil and cold pressed, so you can get natural oils in their natural state, not seed oils that are highly processed. Avoid those at all costs. The sunflower, the safflower, the canola, even soybean oil. I'm fine with I'm fine with organic soybeans in moderation. The thought was that they would increase estrogen in the body in males, and then create gynecomastia, where it collects underneath the nipple and kind of conform, makes men's chest kind of look like women. But that happens sometimes on steroids, but I don't worry about that too much with soy. Those studies were done when the people, I believe in China or Japan, had tons of soy. So anyway, you're getting me off track. Beans, I love beans, all forms of beans. Beans are fine. Beans are not trying to kill you. There's something called lectin in beans. And as long as you fully cook the beans, that lectin is very minimal. Also has huge amounts of restorative properties in the beans as far as immune support. Beans are very healthy. It's a very good food. And also Ezekiel, take for yourself lentil, millet, spelt, and make bread. Beans, certain types of beans too. And so if you stay according to the Bible, it's really not hard at all. Moderation, God-given food, moving, active, don't overindulge. The sugar, the sweets, the Bible would have honey. Honey is a very good thing in the Bible, a land flowing with milk and honey. Now they could say milk didn't really mean milk. Okay, whatever. There's other incidents of milk. And I don't think plants are trying to kill you. What they're talking about is the phytochemicals in it. So the plants have a little bit of things in them called phytochemicals that keep the insects from consuming the plants. And the plant is a little bit stressed. And it's a good idea to eat stressed plants, because the stress in the plants, always remember this, helps to relieve the stress in your body. You can look at, I believe his name is Dr. David Sinclair, has a good teaching on this. Walter Longo, Peter Attia, Ben Greenfield, Gary Brecka, a lot of great stuff out there. Some of those guys are Christians, some aren't. But the plants aren't trying to kill you. Those actually, in little amounts. There's cyanide in the seed, I believe, of an apricot. Even too much water can kill you. I remember a few years ago, a Christian radio station, I think, had who could drink the most water contest, and a lady died. It's like, too much, a little bit of coffee, organic coffee, maybe can be really good. But you have to have a big cup and you get that, going. Or what about lectins? If you eat, a pound of, I don't know what, navy beans, pinto beans, or whatever, and they're not fully cooked, it's going to upset your stomach. And so anything good, in moderation is the key there. So I wouldn't worry about what about this, what about this, what about this. I would avoid juicing to a certain degree, unless it's cold pressed, organic, and it's mixed. Your juice is mixed with a lot of greens, so it's maybe got 40 calories, 50 calories in a cup. That's it, because too much sugar, too much fructose. And even so oils, not too much oil. Salt, there's people out there, no salt, no oil, no sugar. I agree with the no sugar and processed foods, but salt, Jesus said, even if the salt is good, if it keeps its flavor, but what good is it if it loses its flavor? So salt, see, here's why salt is bad, because it has sodium, maybe anything over, I'd say even 2,000, 2,500 milligrams of sodium a day. Water retention there's a lot that can happen, because sodium, when it binds to water and things like that, and what it does in your body. But see, if you look at a can of soup, 800 milligrams, the problem is we're getting too much sodium from processed food. So yeah, I would not add sodium. I would back off sodium. Absolutely. It's way overkill. It's in everything. But if you're eating a healthy, God-given diet where you actually have to put salt on your food, to me, it's not a big deal whatsoever. And I would even try using a lot less sodium. I've been at places where they serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner, no salt. And, with oatmeal, no sweetener, you just put some berries in it, really good. The beans had nothing, no rice, no salt, nothing. And there was some salt substituted things, but your body gets used to less salt. And it's really, really important to use that in moderation, not salting everything, especially if you're overweight, because see, there's so much I could go on. Salt, again, is not bad, but if you have too much and you're overweight and your water retention and your sodium, and how it's affecting the hormone levels and diabetes. And yeah, you got to back off it. Carbohydrates are great. If I'm running, I'm jogging, I'm active, but if you're overweight, you're trying to lose weight, you got to really watch. Even fruit, like grapes, for example, you're just going to eat, a pound of grapes. That's a lot of fructose. So we have to use wisdom. But again, the Bible is crystal clear on all these areas where there's confusion. There doesn't need to be confusion. Okay, let me sum it up again for you. Move, work out, exercise, put God first, put your spiritual health first, get your devotional in first, your prayer, your reading, repentance. That's the foundation of your day. It's a foundation of my day. Spend a couple hours doing that first. Then that's the foundation. Then you maybe don't need to eat breakfast for some of you. It's called break fast for a reason. Keep fasting if you need to. Others say breakfast is the most important meal. What I do is how I feel. For example, what makes me feel the best is a huge salad, colorful salad with avocados, walnuts, and some cut up chicken breast. I have energy. I feel great. But if I have a piece of big pizza instead, I'm sluggish. I want to sit down. I want to do nothing. So, you got to look at your body and, not comparing the two. Don't have the pizza. Even homemade pizza, lots of flour, lots of dough, lots of things in there. But, so you guys are sidetracking me. Active, plant-based as your primary fuel source. I want to get plants in at every single meal, unless you're going keto for a season. I think it's okay to do that for a season. You need to get rid of a lot of the carbs that are stored. You want to kick your body into fat burning. But again, are you taking in too many calories? The types, there's just so much. Get my books, Feasting and Fasting, and 40 Days to Reset Your Life, and What Works When Diets Don't. All are available as free downloads. Go and download. You can start reading right now after this video at westsidechristianfellowship.org, westsidechristianfellowship.org under free downloads. So God is first, devotional life, repentance, brokenness, humility. The next is exercise, get up, get moving, do something even later in the day, start moving and helping others and be serving. And then plant-based, again, is your main food. Tons of plants. Healthy, I would try for organic as much as possible, obviously with the budget. If you stop going to your favorite places of addiction, Starbucks, this and this, you can save a lot of money per month. You're not fooling me. But for those who are genuinely on a budget, you can get a large bag of beans, wash them good, and there are ways around it if you'd like to, look into that. So plant-based is my main thing, and then I will add maybe some clean meat, maybe not every day. Eggs, the yolk is fine as long as, again, it's in moderation. And also on meat, I throw it in now and then, maybe 3 or 4 times a week. But don't do what I do. Take it to the Lord. Some people have meat every single day. There's some fitness guys out there who have it pretty much at every meal, and they're doing great. They look great. Their blood levels are fine. But again, we never know. We never know when our day is up, our time is up. You could be so healthy, spending $2 million a year trying to reverse your age, and you could die in a car accident the next day or even get cancer. You're not going to live forever, folks. God gave us a cap, I believe 120 years old is my personal opinion, and the DNA and what happened at the fall, it's all biblically based. And when you go off the Bible, you don't worry about all these different the diet craze. What about this? What about this? When I look at my own life, when I'm starting to gain too much weight, I'm just eating too much. and I'm not being very active. I'm eating the wrong food. So this is not rocket science. Look to the Bible in all these areas and you will get direction, wisdom. We call it timeless truths that never change.